Hey, what's up guys? Mass Mechanics here and welcome back to the channel. We're starting to wrap up phase 1 here of our S10 build. As you can see, it's changed quite a bit. We got some decent body panels on it now, going through, getting rid of all the rot and rust, fixing all the damage that's been done over time, and we're going to get a little color on it. So stay tuned, check it out, and enjoy. While we're fixing the bed, we might as well address these cab corners, because once the bed's on, we won't be able to get in there too well. So we're better off taking care of it now. So as you can see, they really went wild with spray foam. Probably got $20–30 worth of spray foam inside of here. Just wasting cans of the stuff, and then it holds water, and then this is what you get. A lot of Bondo. They just, I mean, look at it. Ridiculous. And then, yeah, so instead, we just bought repair panels that were really cheap. I don't even remember how much they are, but I can assure you they're very cheap. And then we just got to line them up and weld them in. I just don't understand why somebody would waste their time again like this. You're better off buying something like this, cutting it, and then riveting it on and bondoing it than doing this kind of trash, because then it just rots right away. At least if you buy these panels for, I don't know, $15–20 or something, then you can put it on and be done with it. Instead, now you ruin the back of the cab, the whole inside you got to cut out, and we got to scrape all that garbage out. Never mind the rot in the inside because of it. So it's just not the way to go. So let's cut into it and see what we got. All right, so we got that all cut out. So let's take a look. As you can see, there's like a brick of spray foam in here. I mean, this is the... Again, some more of those fine repairs we've been finding. Get all this garbage out of here. This is just unreal. Like, what a waste of time and effort. I don't know why somebody would even do this. Look how much water was retained by the spray foam. That's what all this rust is from. I mean, look at this. This is all because they spray foamed it. It just causes it to rot from the inside, see? I don't know. Looks like there's 2 layers here. So I bet you this is the original layer of steel. You can see the paint on it. And then somebody scabbed actually what looks like similar to the panel I purchased on here. I don't see a weld line. Maybe it's right here. It's so rotten it's hard to tell. But, you see there's a lot of body filler. That's why you can just pull it off like this, because it's just way too thick. Some more poor repairs, so we'll cut it out and put a new piece in. It's quick, and then we'll get onto the rocker, which we also have in these boxes here. So we'll get a new rocker on it, get this on, and then we can get it going on that floor mount. Well, we got the cab corner section here, extended cab piece, whatever you want to call it, out, and all the ridiculous spray foam gone. So now we're going to start working on this rocker. And as you can see, this is another piece of nice patch. This looks like a piece of, I don't know, maybe aluminum siding? No, never mind, it's plastic. This is actually plastic. Yep. How it got, it looks kind of deteriorated, but it's not. That's just a piece of garbage that somebody threw in there. And then here's the rocker. See what we got here. Look at the Bondo, huh? Look at that. There's some body filler. That's got to be over a ½ inch thick. You know, it's unreal. But as you can see, I got the new one right underneath it. And that goes all the way up into here. So we can cut it right below the hinge here. Replace this whole section out. And then spot weld it right to this seam. There's the seam up top. And that will be a lot better than this mess. It also... This rotted structure underneath, I can slice it right around here, and if you look, that piece is all there too. So that's good. So now we can weld it in here, get it all solid, and then we can start replacing the inner rocker too once all this garbage is cut out. So let me get to it. Well, we're cranking away in the S10. We're just cutting out as much rot as we can. We got down to the floor pan here. I had to cut a ton away, but you have to with all the rot. Those are the spot welds you can see. I drilled those out. You just buy a cheap spot weld cutter. They work really well. I like to drill a hole. First I use a punch, hit it right in the center of the spot weld, and then I run like an 1/8 inch drill bit through it, and then I can easily bang out all these spot welds in a couple of minutes. Like, it really is quick. And the floor here was rotted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up, and then I'm going to connect it with this old piece here and weld it. That way it's solid again. And then I got to extend this down so that way there's the inner rocker, basically, is what this would be. You still got all the structures here. Like, this is the support here. I think there's something back there. There's something. I got to finish cleaning up back there. I haven't dealt with it, but up here is where I'm working now, because you got to put the rocker in, because it goes in behind. This is part of the rocker, and it goes in behind the cab corner. So what we got to do is we'll work on this rocker section, get this straightened out, and then we'll work on that stretch down there. So I got to finish cleaning up, get rid of this rust. I got to put some weld through primer on, extend this down. I got to put the patch in, measure it for this length, and then weld it in. Yeah, it seems like a ton of work, but really, you know, I've been on this side for, I don't know, maybe an hour, hour and a half, and I got this far. So it's not bad. Another hour or so, and this thing will be all welded together. And then we'll be onto the cab corner. So it takes a little bit of time. The first time you do it, I'm sure it takes a long time. But after you've done it a couple of times, it's not bad. You got to get a little creative with the floor being gone, the rocker being gone, and this part of the floor being gone. That's why I want to connect it together here first before I get too crazy with welding. That way I can get in here and get the floor pan set up. And then there's also a piece that's part of like an inner rocker that goes here down. So we can fiddle around with that once everything starts coming together. So that's where I'm at. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. I'll fit the rocker on and show you how that fits. So now with the rocker in place, you can see that we're really close. We got our lines right in the ball game to where it's supposed to sit. Our depth isn't bad. We got to go in just a touch more, something like this probably, but we can worry about that once we start getting ready to do our spot welds. But it's in the ball game for sure. I mean, you could spend a lot of time on this and really make it flawless. I'm not gonna do it like garbage, but it's not going to be a show car either. I'm not really taking the effort to make it flawless. I'm going to do it right, but not spend an eternity getting the thing to line up exactly perfect, you know. If there's a little bit of a too much gap here or whatever, I'm not overly concerned, because everything's so mangled and rotted and twisted that just to get a nice piece of steel in here is going to stiffen up the whole thing to begin with. So it'll be good. It looks pretty darn good, I think. You can see how it's fitted really nicely. I got my curve here matching the curve there. Plus, you got to remember, this is not a GM stamping. I don't think they've had these rockers available for a long, long time. This is some made in Taiwan garbage that seems to fit fairly well. I had to bend it around a little bit, but it's close. So at least our contours are in the same world, so that's good, because sometimes they're even worse than this. So I'm fairly happy with the way it fits. So a little bit more tweaking and a little bit more time just to get it dialed in a little closer, and then we can start working on this inner rocker here, down in here, so I can measure it out to figure out my length I need to extend it. Get that set up and weld it in, and get it all in the weld through primer from the back side, so that way nothing rots anymore under there. And then we got to start fitting the floor in here too. And I think I will have enough room to put the body mount bracket underneath once the floor is in. So we'll see how that works out. And then also, like I was telling you guys before, here, let me move my hand, that'll help. If you look down here, you can see where there needs to be a plate that goes here too. So I'll work on that also. So yeah, I'm going to keep going on it. Alright, well here's a quick update on it for you. We got the rocker welded in, all the spot welds are in. We got the floor pan welded in, that's all done. All the way up and through the pillar there. down in through here, and it wraps around underneath where the cab corner has to go. As you can see, this is all new steel back here. So now I left it sticking out so we can extend it out this way. And you also got the factory support tab, which is actually in still a really good shape. Just the inner rocker rotted off. So we got to clean up what's left here that's good, cut off the rest that's not good, and we're going to make this piece here, which I templated off the other side, and you just flip it over. And another thing is that the cab mount support that goes on the bottom of the floor is on national back order, it appears, after this COVID thing. They must all be from China, so we can't get in there. Let's see if I can, I got to do some more grinding, obviously, but I found this. This is for a Chevy truck, like a full size. Found that at the local parts store, so whatever. And then this is a plate I found at Tractor Supply. It's for a stake pocket for like a car trailer or something, and that'll be more than strong enough to hold what we need. So we can, I drilled a hole in the center. We'll put a little bit of weld through primer on it, and we'll weld it in place under here, up in here, and then I can lower the cab back down once I tack weld it all in, and we should be in business. So that's what we're doing here, and then on to the other side. So I'll keep you guys posted. I'm not really videoing every step of it because I imagine people start getting bored watching me weld for 2 hours or something. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Alright guys, well here it is. We got the cab corner all welded in. We got the rocker panel all welded in. We got the new floor pan welded in. Obviously, seam sealer is going to be a big thing on this. Let's see if we can see under here. I don't even know if you can see anything, but it's all enclosed. Like I said, I don't even know if you're going to be able to see anything, but let me flip it around. Alright, we got the new steel in here, all the way down, just to patch it. Got some new stuff here, spot welds and such. On to the driver's side. Alright, well I got a little ahead of my filming, but as you can see, more spray foam everywhere. I mean, he really loved this caulk and he loved this spray foam. There's no doubt about it. It's crazy how much is in it. Now it looks, from what I can see, this is actually factory. Under here, there's no holes. I mean, it's miraculous, really. All the way up, no hole. So this is all good material, and this is a good cab corner, which is amazing. So this part's going to stay up to about here is when the metal starts really getting bad behind it. So all the way to here. And then as you can see, the rocker, let's see if I can rip it off. Most of their bodywork is so poor. No, you can see where it's not even welded or anything, it's just ripping here. But it's all scabbed together really bad. I mean, and then of course this is a bad spot to have it rotted, because this is where your hinge goes. See if I can move it. I mean, let me try to hold the camera still. So you want to see some door wiggle? I mean, that's crazy, right? Look at this. So my rocker panel goes up to here. So from here down is going to get replaced all the way to like in here. Wherever the garbage stops, basically, is where we're going to stop. Maybe even to here. So this part forward, and then the inside I have to replace more. Like I did the other side, pretty much the entire length of it needed to be done. This, at least, it's like a third, so that saves some time. Now this is our floor pan. It's not welded, I just started cutting it to the shape. There's our rot. Gotta cut that out, and I templated the other side, and I'm gonna cut that out of probably some 1/8 inch steel plate I have So then I can just weld it on top of this after I clean it up, and that way the cab mount has somewhere to sit without falling through. Get this all welded up and we should be in business, so I'm going to get after it. Just to give you guys an idea of what we're working with here. See the yellow in there? That's more spray foam. And spray foam retains water once it's inside of a panel. So you get, instead of having like a little hole and they sprayed spray foam in there to fill it up for inspections and things for other states, you watch this. This is what you get. Then you can go. And here is your structure for your cab mount, your floor, and your door. All need that structure right here. And this is what you get. You can just take it, and now it's tearing off the rocker, see? Here's the inside. I mean, it's pretty wild. So I just figured I'd share. Yeah, see? Look at all the nice spray foam. Look at the rot that's attached to the spray foam. See it all? And that's why it's rotting up the pillar. Because that's how high the spray foam went, is as high as the body rot's gotten. And it's like directly related. See? That's a mess. And it even looks like a little mouse is up in there nibbling away. So good for him. He was helping me out, getting rid of some of this spray foam. So good for him. But we're getting there. I just figured I'd show you a little bit of the carnage while it's coming apart, since I didn't really do that much on the other side. The other side I cut the whole mount off here because it was rotted along the sides. This one's structurally okay minus the hole in the top. So I can just plate the top and this one will be solid. But the other side was really far gone. So was the rot. The other side was much more rotted than this side, unbelievably. It was. So that's why I tackled that one first. This one will be a lot quicker. Like I said, I'm only doing maybe half the rocker and a third of the inner rocker. So, well, here we are midway through. I figured I'd give you guys a quick look at what we're working with. You can see I got the floor cut out. I got to do some more trimming, obviously, because there's still more rot on the toe board up top. But we'll get that. But it's just doing the rough cuts so I can get in here and fix that. And then working on this rocker here. Get that all cut out to there. And I got to replace the bottom section. This, it looks worse than it is, but this is actually the rocker that's here still. I got to grind that off and get the rest of the pieces off of that. But the inside metal is still really thick. And it feels really good on the inside too. So it's just some surface rust in there. So that's good. So I only have to repair from like here all the way to here. Instead of like the other side where I repaired from here all the way down. So that's nice. I'm glad I don't have to do all that. And then once you're done with all your repairs and welding and all that, I go underneath and seam seal the heck out of it. Get all that sealed up and use the right primers, and I'll probably use some kind of an epoxy paint. That way it'll keep it from rotting. And then seam seal it, and that'll keep it really good. So that's what I got to work on. I left this little piece here for now, but I'm probably going to have to cut it off because of the rot that's higher up. But we'll get there a little bit at a time. Because once you cut it off, you know, it takes more time to put it back together. So you cut it and cut it and cut it until there's no more rot. Then you can start rebuilding. So I figured I'd give you guys a little inside view of what's actually going on, because I'm not filming the entire process like I have in the past, because people seem to get a little bored with it. So I'm kind of speeding through it, and then I'll go over it once we get there. All right. Well, we got a quick update for you. We're on the driver's side. Last time I showed you it was all hacked apart. Now you can see the new rockers in and starting to get the seam sealer on there. Still got to do my mud work down here to get everything perfect, but I got it sealed up at least for the rain. See, I got the seam sealer in here. Just got to do the bottom. The other side is coming along the same way. You can hear the doors close now. And I'll show you now with just one new pin. I mean, that's a lot better. Restructured this whole area. It's hard to see with the door closed, but this is all new steel right in here. Had to restructure this whole thing. and then had the weld way up in here to get it right. Came out good. It's nice and sturdy and strong like it should be, and it'll be ready to be worked with. Now for the cab mounts to the floor, I whipped these up out of some stake pockets from Tractor Supply. Got the right size nut for the bolts, and then welded them in, and then gusseted the sides to give it some more stability. So just letting these cool off because I just finished welding them, and shoot them with a quick coat of paint. Put the body mounts all together underneath the truck tight, then lower the cab back down off the wood that's holding it up, and then once it's in place, then I can weld to the floor and it won't move. So that's what we're working with right now. Like I said, it's coming along excellent. Very happy with it. There's one of the cab mount bolts right there with the washer. So not bad, we're getting there. Well, I jumped ahead a little bit here, but I didn't want to bore you guys. You can see the floor is all done, the patch is all set. Cab mounts are welded in, see the marks on the floor. And it's the weld penetration on the other side. Rockers are done. Just got some scuffs on there. It's not from the door. That lines up now. So yeah, we're all set here. I just gotta start, I gotta do a little bit of body filler here, and then some on the cab corner in the back that we replaced, and that's it. We're in business. So let me get it all back together and then finish up doing the bed. I don't know if I showed you guys yet, but I replaced this section that was all rotten. So next I got to do that piece over there, swap those out. And I got a piece of metal here cut out so I can repair that. Cut out all the rust and weld through primer underneath. S10 out for a rip. Running pretty good. Ride's nice. Ride's pretty good too, I gotta say. Engine's got a compression issue, I think. I haven't checked it or anything. I mean, it runs okay. It doesn't have any power. I don't think it's a fuel issue either. I'm pretty sure it's just the engine itself is a little cooked, but hey, she's running. She's moving. She's running. And it seems pretty reliable. Had a oil pressure issue where the sending unit was bad. It was causing it to cut fuel out. So that was pretty lame. We took care of that. And now she's running pretty good. So she is on the road. Finally a video where I drive one of my projects for you. I figured you guys, about time I got to spend a little time behind the driver's seat. It just happens that it's the biggest pile that I built. But the Corvette will be coming up really soon. We're going to put a little paint on this thing and we should be good to go. Here's the S10 in its running state. We've got the bed on. There's our patch panel there. You see our frame is all done under there. You see that's right where we welded it. Threw the bed liner in. Good thing is the bumper lined back up, so that's a good sign. This is one of the test sprays I did here. Looks like a tarp. Probably gonna have to change that up a little bit, I think. Maybe add a little color to the tractor paint to try to make it a different color. Got this red door on, the black fender, the blue truck, the partially red bed, the green etch primer. It's quite a beaut, but we're going to do a quick sand and paint on it really fast. Hopefully get it done in one day. It's the goal. Again, we're not going crazy with body work or anything like that. Just trying to make it remotely presentable when you're driving around. That way, you know, it's not totally embarrassing. The interior here is just beautiful, as you can see. Everything actually works, which is amazing. It doesn't have very many things that couldn't work. The trip odometer doesn't work, but the odometer works. So there you go. That's one thing that doesn't work. Everything else, though, seems to be working just fine. So here she is. I'm going to start doing a little body filler here to cover up my patches and do some quick sanding. Get this thing ready to spray. Well, our S10 made it to its first trip to its natural habitat up here in the woods. Got a load of scrap to go in our big scrap pile. Can't really see it because it's growing up so much, but got quite a scrap pile going here. I just wish the scrap prices would come up a little bit, but for now it'll be just fine. I see some Flowmasters right here that I'm probably going to use for this truck coming up, so that's good. That's why sometimes keeping the scrap pile is a good thing. But yeah, here she is. She made it up here. I was going to video it, but I really didn't feel like it. It's too much of a hassle. I just wanted to get the thing sprayed. So here's our Rust-Oleum tractor paint job. Looks alright. It's far from gorgeous by any means. It does not look very good, but it's much better than it was. And for a piece of trash like this, it's perfect. So I think it looks pretty good. I mean, it looks about as good as the body lines do on this truck. The doors are open a little anyways, so I could spray the edges. But yeah, came out all right. I'm not going to complain. I think it'll be all right. Definitely, at least it's one color now. I don't have to feel completely embarrassed if I drive it around. And now I won't mind throwing a little bit of cash at it when it comes to putting axles in it and stuff. So, yeah, here she is, all painted up. I am tired and not wanting to unwrap this thing, but I have to. So let me get after it. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. It's been quite a process bringing this thing back to life, and we have a lot more coming up for it. We're doing some engine stuff now. We're going to be doing a bunch of suspension stuff, so please stay tuned. Also, we're hopping back in the Corvette real soon, too. As you can see, this thing's just all wrapped up. So please, guys, like, subscribe, and stick around with the Mass Mechanics.